We're going to start with a card using the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. This is a stamp set that you can get for free during Celebration, and Celebration is only good for like 2 more weeks. September 30th is the last day. So if you're not familiar, this is how it works. Celebration, you buy $50 or more and you can choose a free gift. So big news, the Bee Dazzling paper just sold out. So if you didn't get, there was a message that just flashed up really fast and then it went away. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, so the Bee Dazzling paper sold out. Oh, that's so sad, but hopefully you got it. And if not, there's still some amazing things to get. The Penguin Playmates designer paper, the Feels Like Home stamp set, the Beautifully Penned designer paper, the Peaceful Prince designer paper, the Counting Sheep stamp set, the sheep dies. These are also limited quantities, so if you want these, order now. In addition, we have the Textures and Frames stamp set, the Summer Shadow dies, which are also limited edition, but what I'm showing you tonight is the Delicate Dahlias, and this is free with a $100 order because this stamp set is big. It's like a double stamp set. You can see we've got, well, these are on the, they're on my block right now, but you can see 2 different sheets, and these stamps are so gorgeous. You've got the outline and then also a stamp that you can fill in or stamp on their own. And do you see the detail on this stamp? This Delicate Dahlias is part of Stampin' Up's distinctive stamp line, and they have this special patent pending method of creating stamped images based on photographs. Isn't that just incredible? My kids saw this sample on the kitchen counter this evening, and they were just floored at the detail in this image, and you guys are going to be too. It is seriously so gorgeous. So let's get some stamping done, and then I am going to show you some extra samples. Uh-oh, I think I might have left them in the kitchen, but I can run and grab them. Let's do the stamping first, and then I'll run and grab those extra samples to show you. Don't let me forget, 'cause sometimes I get distracted and I forget. So there's the finished card. I just gave it all away. There's a card. I'm going to take it away and show you the process. We are using that Delicate Dahlias. We're going to use the big flower. That's the distinctive stamp. And the colors I chose are this beautiful Cajun Craze, very vanilla. And then I can't decide between the darker Old Olive and the lighter Pear Pizzazz. So actually, I'm going to run and get those samples. I want you guys to vote. Do you think we should use Old Olive or Pear Pizzazz? If you want to just leave a number, this is going to be number 1, and this is going to be number 2. Tell me what you think, and I'm going to grab those other cards. Okay, I'm still not seeing all the comments. Like I see some of the comments, but not all of them. Maybe there's just a little delay. Okay, I see Kay says 1 and Kathy says 1. Jillian says 1. That's all the Old Olive. It looks like you guys, are liking the darker color. Janet says Pear Pizzazz. Here's what I'm going to do. I know I just told you guys to vote, but I'm going to use the lighter one because I have one made up with the darker one, and then we can compare and see the finished card and which one we like better, okay? So let's put a pin in the voting and try the Pear Pizzazz, and then we'll see at the end which way we want to go with it. So the colors I'm using for this card are Pear Pizzazz, Cajun Craze, and Early Espresso. I've got just a standard card base here that is Cajun Craze, and then 2 pieces. One of them is a little bit smaller. So this one is 4 inches by 5 1/4 for the inside, and this one's going to be for the front. It is 3 1/2 inches by 5. And because I'm stamping off the edge of the cardstock, I definitely want to bring in some grid paper for this. So I'm using the Cajun Craze ink pad. And I'm going to stamp, oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to be so incredible. You are not going to believe the detail in this stamped image. Okay, ready? oops. I'm going to do this one first. This is the inside. I'm going to do a little corner. What? Isn't that incredible? Oh my gosh. Actually, it looks like I have a little bit of fuzz on my, it looks like I have just a little bit of, like lint on the stamp, and that was affecting, you can see like right there, how like it didn't stamp completely. So I've cleaned it off. Hopefully I got it. Okay, so the piece for the front, I'm going to stamp this 3 times. I'm going to go in one corner, and then I'm going to stamp off the edge in the middle, and then I'm going to go in the other corner. So kind of like a doot doot doot, like down the page. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I don't know why we got some pooling going on here. Now, if you are not getting the same kind of image on your card, then you'll want to take, it's possible that your ink pad is just super juicy. So you'll want to take like a plastic spoon, or you could even use your bone folder, and just sort of rub the ink across the pad to sort of even it out so that you don't have these pools of ink that are causing splotchy images. Okay, so if yours doesn't turn out exactly the same, it's probably not the stamp. It's probably an over juicy ink pad. Okay, now we're going to go back through with the leaves, and we're going to add those in the empty areas. And if I can have them connect to the flowers, all the better. You could add, if you wanted to, like, you can add some more like off the side to like fill in all those spaces. Okay, and then our last thing we're going to stamp is the sentiment. Unfortunately, I need some sympathy cards, and this stamp set has a sympathy greeting. It has several. It has a thank you kindly, oh so happy for you, you inspire me, and sending heartfelt sympathy. So that's the one I'm going to use tonight, and I'm using early espresso ink to stamp this on the Pear Pizzazz tag that I previously punched out. This is the Label Me Fancy punch. I like the size of that. I thought maybe I double stamped or over stamped that. Okay, so now we get to put this card together. Oh, no. We don't put it together yet. We're going to add some texture. I almost forgot. I'm going to get out Big Mama, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we're going to emboss the paper that we stamped. So when you do this, you want to stamp first and then emboss. So let's get out Big Mama. Now I'm going to have to, oh yeah, I'm going to have to raise the camera for this. Because Big Mama takes up a lot of room and she's not ready for her close-up. Okay, let's put this on. So I'm using the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder, and this is one from the new mini catalog. You can kind of see it does have some type, but it's very like faded and worn, and then you just have sort of these spots of like distress. So this is really great, especially for like fall cards, a great texture to add, but I mean really like any season. So the sandwich that you need for your die cutting machine is the platform, and then the embossing folder with the cardstock inside. So let's put that. Now this does have words. So you want to make sure, even though like you won't be able to read most of the words, you still want to make sure that your words are upright. So I'm going to make sure I put that in the folder vertically. The fold of the embossing folder goes through first, and then we're using the specialty plate, which is number 4. Now, if you buy a new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it comes with the specialty plate. This is a little bit thicker than a standard cutting plate, the clear plates. So if you're using 3D embossing folders, this is the sandwich that you want. Platform, embossing folder, specialty plate. This is the right thickness to create the impression that you want with the embossing folder. Now, if you don't have a specialty plate and you're using another die cutting machine, like a Big Shot, for instance, you can use a regular cutting plate and then just add a cardstock shim to get the right thickness that you need in order for it to run through. Okay, check out this texture. Isn't that pretty? Like, this already was gorgeous, and then we added a little bit of texture, and now I feel like it just takes it over the top. Let's move Big Mama out of the way. Celebration is a great time to get a die cutting machine. Whether you're looking at the big one or the mini machine, you can get free celebration gifts when you purchase either one. So if you've been thinking about it, now is definitely the time to get it during celebration, which ends in 2 weeks on September 30th. Okay, so let's lower our camera again so that we can get a close-up look at our card and see what we're doing. We've got all our pieces ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and just layer them together. The one thing I did want to add was a little bit of ribbon. This is, what is this called? Diamond Weave Ribbon. And it has an item number 156507. I think this is part of the Harvest Meadow Suite. I just love the texture of it, and especially with the very vanilla. I just think it's so pretty. So I'm going to use a little bit of this behind the tag just to add. It kind of is it's gonna blend in a little bit, but I think it's still gonna be really pretty. So we're gonna put this on the inside. I will include the measurements for the cards that I make tonight in the video description. Sometimes it takes me a little while because I I just sort of collapse and I put my feet up. When I do my videos, I'm actually usually standing. I have a anti-fatigue mat that I stamp on, and then I can see my phone where I film my videos. I can see the phone and the comments, like I'm looking down at the table and I can see it. It's between me and the table. So I stand to do all my videos, and sometimes it's exhausting. And so when I finish, I just go and like sit down and put my feet up and usually grab a cold drink or sometimes a warm drink and give my throat a break from all the talking. Oh my goodness. Oh, Diana says she loves the delicate Dahlia stamp set so much, but couldn't afford to spend so much money to get it. I totally understand. There are some similar stamp sets in the catalog that are distinctive. In fact, let me see. I feel like there might be like an index or a list of them. I'm not even sure how distinctive. See, that's the logo that you want to look for, distinctive. Let's just take, oh, here's one right here, right? Isn't this a distinctive stamp set? The, maybe not. I don't see the logo, but it has sort of a similar, like really beautiful quality to it, the way they, yeah, distinctive. This one is too. But the flowers, I feel like there's another distinctive flower. This is so pretty with the peach. Here's another one. It's the technique they use to create the stamps based on like a photo. I actually don't know how they do the process, but it does look so photorealistic and amazing. I feel like there's another flower that's kind of similar that has the same look to it. Here's another distinctive one. Isn't that cool? The tulips are labeled as a distinctive set. They just have such amazing details. The strawberries are a distinctive set. I thought we had a similar flower, but it may be that it's retired, the one that I'm thinking of. But we do have other amazing stuff in the mini catalog. So if you can't afford to get the delicate dahlias as your free celebration gift, there are lots of other things that you can choose from and create a similar card in a similar look. Because really, I know you guys have flowers at home, okay? I know. I know you have flowers at home. I have a bazillion flowers, it seems like. So you could create the same design and use an embossing folder, and even any embossing folder. It doesn't even have to be this one. So that's sort of just a general statement about my videos. I'm usually showing the latest and greatest things that Stampin' Up! Has to offer, but most of the things I'm creating, you can make at home using the supplies you already have. So I hope that you feel inspired to do that, to use the techniques that I'm showing you, the layouts that I'm showing you, and use what you've got to create something similar. I'm using a 1 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock to go across. This was something I added after Stamp Club. I thought I just really liked having like an anchor piece there. So I'm going to put this all the way at the top. So we've got the border around the edges, which is a little bit different, but I kind of like it. And then I'm going to just trim that. I've put the ribbon on with tear and tape, which is my trick to get the ribbon to kind of stay put where I want it to go. And then this ribbon is really thick. So I'm going to try to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. You know what I should do is I should use the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. So let me get those. I have this basket and I keep trying to pull one and they're always the regular ones. And so I just like, whenever I'm looking for the regular ones, I only pull the mini ones. And when I want the mini ones, I only pull the regular ones. I save all my little lines like that. Don't you guys too? And then I tear them apart and use them on different cards. But I have a whole basket of like Stampin' Dimensional scraps. Okay, mini dimensionals. Did you know they came in this size? So the big ones, now that I've put them all away, I tried to pull a big one and all I see are little ones now. Oh my gosh. Okay, here's a big one and here's a little one. Let me put them next to each other so you can see the size difference. Okay, so there's the big one and then there's the baby Stampin' Dimensionals. So it is a significant size difference. So when you have something like this where you just have a small space to put them, the mini dimensionals really are handy. So I'm going to use 4 of them and I can go around the ribbon so that it doesn't overlap. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, if you don't have mini dimensionals at home, you could cut your regular dimensionals in half or cut apart those side pieces and use that for something like this. Okay, so this tag is going right here in the center. And that is it. That's our finished card. It's so quick and easy. So if you have a bunch of cards to make up, whether it's sympathy or something else, you can create a simple card like this and duplicate it very easily. Okay, now it's time for you to vote. Here is the Old Olive and here's the Pear Pizzazz. It's kind of hard to tell because they're a very similar color, but the Old Olive is darker. So leave a comment now and let me know, do you prefer the Old Olive or do you prefer the Pear Pizzazz? Now this card, again, the card base is Cajun Craze and then Very Vanilla. And so it's just the 2 different greens, either Old Olive or Pear Pizzazz. So leave a comment, let me know 1 or 2 or Old Olive or Pear Pizzazz. While you guys are voting, let's take a look at some more cards using the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. Again, this is one from the Celebration brochure, so you can get this free with a $100 order during Celebration. You can choose this one, and it is a very big stamp set, which is why it's the level 2, the $100 one. So let me show you some cards that I've received from other demonstrators. They have inspired me so much. So this one is by Jan McClurg, and she's done like a triple time stamping where she's stamped, and then, well, actually, this is probably cutting the white layers and putting them all on each other, then stamping, and then taking the white layers off. So you want to use like a removable adhesive, and then layering them on black, and then putting them back on. So it looks like they've been stamped all together, and they just continue on and line up perfectly. So we'll have to do that maybe sometime if you haven't seen that. Are you guys familiar with the triple time stamping technique? The next card is from Dawn Olszewski, I think. Yep, her stickers all folded up, but I recognize it. I know Dawn's cards. Our styles are so similar. So here she's used that distinctive stamp and then stamped it again. And you can see the detail is kind of lost here. So it's probably that Dawn's ink pad was very juicy. Oh, that's a good point. Barbara says she can't read the saying on the Old Olive cardstock. Sometimes with darker cardstock, it's hard to, you know, to read it, honestly. Like, I feel that too. My eyes getting older and, you know, I'm not straining that much yet to see things, but I do find that things are obviously easier to read on lighter cardstock. All right, here's another one. This is from Susan Elise Morton, and she's used the distinctive stamp in the middle and then the outlines on the top and bottom. I love this really simple monochromatic. This is another one that'd be really, really easy to duplicate. This one is really cool. This is by Betsy Kreider, and she used bleach to stamp on the Cherry Cobbler cardstock. I love that look, and I did think about getting the bleach out, and then I thought, nah. I can be a messy. When I get messy, like with techniques like this, sometimes I can make a mess, and I thought I for sure would spill bleach on myself. So definitely be careful when you do something like this. If you are going to stamp in bleach, then I would highly recommend creating like an ink pad with a paper towel. You can fold it up, put a little bit of bleach on it, and use that as an ink pad, and then immediately clean your stamp when you're done. Make sure this is a photopolymer stamp set, so I would rinse it under water and make sure you rinse all that bleach off so that it doesn't affect your stamp at all. Next card is from my mom, Susan LaCroix. She's used a little bit of that bedazzling paper and then stamped with, I think this is Polished Pink and Just Jade. Such a beautiful combination. This one is by Ruth Moore, and I love the embossing folder that she paired with it. This is one of the floral embossing folders from the new annual catalog. And then we've got Pale Papaya and Soft Succulent are the inks there. This next card is from Denise Jorgensen. She also used a little bit of the bedazzling paper. And then she's got some layered tags. Another great embossing folder is the Tasteful Textile embossing folder that she's used there. Fresh freesia and some gold ribbon to complete this card. Here's a pretty one from Ruth Bingle. Let me open this up because I feel like it's going to have a fun fold. Oh yeah, it's got like a double fold. So it opens on the right and then it opens on the left. Ruth has used some of the beautifully penned designer paper, which is another celebration gift. This black and white paper is so easy to pair with a pop of color like Polished Pink. The embossing folder that Ruth has used is the Painted Texture embossing folder. So you can see, like, there's just so many ways to add texture to your cards with embossing folders, and you can choose, again, whatever you have at home. It doesn't have to, you don't have to always get, you know, something to do exactly the same. You could do this technique and pair it with that embossing folder, or that one, or that one. You can do some awesome things. Here's another embossing folder. I haven't used this one yet. This is by Amy Story, and I'm not sure how well you can see. Let me take it out of the plastic. This is, there's two embossing folders. One, it says thank you, and then I think the other one is hello. There actually might be a birthday one as well. Oops, her gem is trying to get off the tag there. Isn't this gorgeous? This is the Poppy Parade and then the beautifully penned designer paper. So here Amy has stamped that distinctive image and then stamped the outline over it. And I just love the way that turned out. Such a beautiful card. And you could really use any color in there for your pop of color. I like the Poppy Parade on that one. Last card, this one is by Leanne Greff, and she used the Picture This die set that has 3 stitched rectangle windows. So one die creates all 3 windows, and I just love how that adds kind of a fun, easy layering to the card. So many amazing ways to use this stamp set. I hope that my card idea inspired you. Oh, I had one. Let me show you. Oh, here it is. This is the one that inspired my card. This one is by Cindy Bowman, and she used Magenta Madness, I think, with mint macaron. And so she did the same technique with the embossing folder and same kind of design with the 3 down the side. So I just made mine a little bit bigger and kind of changed the layout and the colors a little bit.